There's just been a call for Rachel Reeves to reconsider the national insurance employers' contribution. And if fiscal policy is an art, then Rachel Reeves must she must currently be painting in a shade somewhere between Pollock's chaos and a toddler's mindless tantrum. Her economic master plan, unveiled with the gravitas of a chancellor who believes herself the saviour of the working people, is quickly becoming a slow motion car crash for business, for enterprise, for social care alike. If we start with the employer's national insurance, this Pyrrhic raid, this flagship folly, the hike in employer national insurance contributions from next April, firms will be paying a whopping 15% on wages over £5,000. That's up from 13.8%. And Rachel Reeves insists this will raise £25 billion annually. But at what cost? Emma Bridgewater, the doyenne of British ceramics, who's kept her business afloat on Stoke-on-Trent through Brexit and inflation, warns this measure will make job creation significantly harder. This isn't progressive taxation, it's self-harm in porcelain. And recruiters such as, including the CEO of CV Library, confirmed that anyone outside the SW1 already knows this. This tax rise will decrease hiring. It's economically illiterate to pretend otherwise. Companies will either freeze recruitment, cut pensions, or pass the costs on to staff, all while the Chancellor smiles and talks about protecting working people. It's nonsense. Then the taxing schools and starving services. In this trilogy of bad ideas is the VAT on private schools. I've spoken a great deal about it. Reeves claims this is about fairness. In reality, it's a headline-grabbing gimmick that risks destabilising special needs education, mid-course exam provision, and even charitable bursaries. It penalises not the rich, but the aspirational middle and lower middle class whose children depend on scholarships, SEND provision, or specialist schools that the state cannot replicate. The problem with being diagnosed with the SEND requirements is that it takes 2 years. So many parents who know their children have paid the extra money to get them into a private school where they can automatically get that SEND care. They're not going to get it when they go into state education because they don't have that qualification yet. If that weren't enough, the government is now pleading with those same private schools to offer discounts for the children of diplomats and civil servants. So we tax them to the hilt, then beg them for favours. It's not policy. This is nonsense. This is inadequacy. This is not thinking through things before they're announced. And then there's the farm levy and the rural rage. There's proposed inheritance tax reform for farms. Reeves wants to impose a 20% levy on agricultural assets over £1 million from next year. In theory, wealthy landowners will finally pay their dues, but in practice this hits family farms across the UK who are already squeezed by poor harvest, post-Brexit bureaucracy and supermarket price wars. The Environment, Food and Rural Affairs Committee, with Labour MPs among them, have begged for a delay. They cite vulnerable farmers and the lack of consultation. In plain English, Labour didn't think this through. Yet another example. Farming isn't a stock portfolio, it's a generational lifeline. Destroy it and you kill not just livelihoods but an entire way of life. And if that wasn't enough, now Reeves's immigration clampdown has reached the care sector. For 2 years, overseas recruits have been propping up Britain's falling social care system. Many are qualified nurses, doctors, physiotherapists, and now, under Labour's plans, that door will close. The care sector is already preparing to strike. Workers and providers alike warn that this decision is not just heartless, but brainless. We're not training new workers, we're not funding the system, and now we're throwing out the only people keeping it upright. What binds all these chaotic policies together? Ideology over evidence. Hard work is jettisoned in favour of laziness and knee-jerk responses, knee-jerk ambitions, the idea that if you destroy something, something better is going to grow up in its path. That doesn't work. It's this dangerous rigidity in Reeves's economic thinking, a belief that optics matter more than outcomes. Her team governs via spreadsheets and slogans, tax the elite, protect the worker, but these distinctions no longer hold. Small business owners are workers, farmers are entrepreneurs, and care staff are the backbone of any civilized society. The real economy is not a Westminster think tank, it's Emma Bridgewater's ceramic studio. It's a Lincolnshire dairy farm. It's a special school in Sussex. It's a care home in Preston. These are the people Rachel Reeves is taxing, scaring, and ultimately abandoning. And in politics, it's easy to mistake action for progress, but every tax hike, every levy, every visa restriction must pass a simple test. Will this make life better, fairer, and more sustainable? And on all fronts, Rachel Reeves is failing that test. Her policies may raise revenue, but they're also raising blood pressure across every corner of British enterprise. Are they honest? No. These are quick knee-jerk responses by a treasury that hasn't done its homework. And is Rachel Reeves the ideal person to lead with impeccable honesty? Well, this is somebody who apparently has egged up her CV. Is that honesty? She needs to change course, or she will find herself not the Chancellor who fixed the economy, but the one who finally broke its back. She will end up with a reputation that is worse than Liz Truss. Now, how's that for the history books?